Hello. I am Epiphany and I'm a survivor. I'm a healer, okay? Not the bluey kind. Okay, but I help create resources for people who are looking to overcome their trauma, challenge their trauma. I challenge my own. I take what I learned from my own therapy sessions. I take what I learned from my own personal experiences, and I create resources to help others. So today, we're going over grooming. Here's the definition. This is a recap from the last video. Grooming is when someone builds trust with the person, often a child, teen, or vulnerable adult, in order to manipulate, exploit, or abuse them over time. It's not always loud. It's not always violent. It often looks like care, attention, or special treatment at first. Big deal right there. Grooming is never about love. It is about control. If he's dusty, if he's not dusty, you will see it in his... Pay attention to how he shows up in a room full of other men. Is he seeking validation? Is he in competition with the other men? Does he have heavy, colonization trauma that he is not addressing? That's really big, because that will tell you where he stands on his proximity to white power. If he's seeking white power and he has access to the women that are around him, he will try and use the women around him as tools for empowerment in a community that does not see him as powerful. If he's not using all these other tactics to empower himself, if he's not educating himself, if he's not living righteously and living kindly, probably trying to control the people that he has in the vicinity to him to feel powerful. Okay, it's a slow strategic trap where the people being targeted are made to feel chosen, seen, or special until the dynamic shifts. Real grooming often happens in silence. The goal is to break down someone's boundaries so subtly that they start questioning their own instincts. And I just want you guys to remember, grooming is not your fault, and naming it is a radical act of reclaiming your power. Okay, let's get into part 3, okay? Real life grooming versus media portrayals. What media often shows? A creepy stranger in a van, an overly dramatic villain who's clearly bad, one-time abductions with little emotional buildup, fast, obvious danger, and immediate rescue. Which, y'all know the deal. We're minority women, like, y'all know the deal. Dang, y'all, my alarm went off, so the video cut. I was trying to keep it in one take. I was trying to be a one take baddie, but okay. Survivors who are either completely broken or completely healed. And I'm gonna say this, healing is linear. Some days you feel like you is, I'm every woman. Like, you feel like you wholly healed. And other days, you will cry. And crying ain't bad, okay? Crying means that you're releasing. Some days you feel like you want, but other days it's, and it's okay. Either, wherever you at, period. Okay, what does grooming often look like in real life? Let's go over it. Someone familiar. It's most of the time, a family friend, a cousin, a teacher, a coach, or a romantic interest. When I was in high school, dudes would be in college and trying to holler at us. Why you don't like the girls of your age? Okay, ongoing emotional manipulation, not just one-time harm. So they string, it's a stringing along. It's a long time con. Think of it that way. Okay, with the objectification, with the dehumanizing of Black and brown women, we're put in a position just like with slavery and men. They remove us like we're females. We're being put in this place of just our gender, just a product, just a tool for their empowerment, for their pursuit of proximity to whiteness. Okay. To gain the same power white men have in society. It's a long-term emotional manipulation so they can get their fix, okay, of empowerment. They eating that up, okay? A slow build of trust, secrets, and emotional dependence. So with me personally, I noticed my cousin started with, we're family, you can always come to me. Then it was weird stuff. Then it was like, oh, like, let's go out of town together, or let's go, you know, I don't know. He had me around like his other girlfriends, and then they started like doing a little, like being hypersexual, and he would see if like I would say that it makes me uncomfortable because I'm like neurodivergent and wasn't close with boundaries yet, didn't even understand that. I didn't even have the language to discuss that these things made me uncomfortable. Okay. Confusion and denial. You're confused because you don't have the language to call things out. You don't know who to go to. You don't know who is or what they will do. Okay, hold on. Because the abuser isn't always violent or mean. Maybe they beating up guys around you, or doesn't even have to be physical harm. Maybe they are just like weird and just ego struggle, power struggling, and doing stuff around you and showing you that although they are not physically violent, they are mentally manipulative, okay? Survivors who feel guilty, conflicted, or unsure if they're allowed to call it abuse, because through this pick-me pursuit of validation, male validation, men know that they're targeting girls between the ages of 14 and 23, 21. So you're undeveloped. That's the biggest part about this. You are undeveloped, and they are tricking you into thinking you're wanting it because you're in this beautiful space of discovering your body and enjoying the freshness of no stretch marks and stuff like that. You feel me? You're discovering who you are. You're establishing yourself in your vision of the world at this time, and they're taking advantage of it. Grooming isn't always something you see clearly. It's something you feel in your body before your brain catches up to it. Like I said, when you turn 27, 28, 29, you start to discover the trauma in your body, or your body releases the illusion. Your body chemically even releases the manipulation and the tactics society uses to make you more pliable for them. Consumerism, you know, their consumerism purpose, or sexualization purposes, all of this. And because so many stories are often left out of the media, it's even easier for a victim to blame themselves or feel not harmed enough to speak up. And because it's so normalized in pick-me culture, male validation, you are the women, and because I still have women that is like trying to follow me in association with this man, in the pursuit to tell him my business about me, like speaking up to not let his secrets get out of, you know? So it's like them still seeking validation from these abusers. Sorry, I thought I heard my little kitties. But yeah, it makes you shrink. It makes you question yourself or go quiet when your voice actually really matters, period. Like, okay, so reflection time. What story did I believe about what abuse should look like? Because oh my God, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, Jesus, please protect me. I'm speaking about things that generationally they wanted me to keep quiet about. I'm gonna leave this in too, so y'all can see. Like, I heard a little noise that scared me. I jumped. But I am, you feel me? I'm protected. Jesus loves me. God protects me and my family. We're breaking generational curses. You feel me? We're breaking generational curses. We're speaking of, and I'm putting safety out into the world for other women, period. What story did I believe about what abuse should look like? Have I ever compared my trauma to someone else's and convinced myself that mine wasn't bad enough? Because that's, people tried to, oh, you know, it could have been worse. You could have da-da-da-da. Boo, boo. What does my body remember that my mind was told to forget? That is a big one. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Like, this is not replacement for therapy. I still go to therapy Sometimes I go to two therapists at the same time. You feel me? I got the one shorty and I got the other shorty. Two different perspectives. I go to my Bible. I journal a lot. Like, I journal. Okay, I do my Bible study and I figure out how this applies to me, and I try to just do right by sharing these things that I have been told to stay quiet about, specifically by family members. My friends know not to tell me to shush, like maybe about certain things, you feel me, but not these things, because if we are the generational curse breakers, if we are decolonizing our mindset, if we are addressing capitalism and, supremacy, we're speaking up, we're speaking against it, we're speaking out, and we're encouraging safety and love and growth for others, okay? So, I still got a little time. Section 4, the silence is a trap. Grooming doesn't end when the abuse begins. It continues through the pressure to stay silent. Survivors are often taught directly or indirectly that their pain is a burden, an embarrassment, or a threat to someone else's image. Don't say this because auntie so-and-so or cousin this or mama that, like, is gonna feel some type of way. Like, this is why it's still happening. People aren't speaking up about it. Inside paragraph, okay? We aren't just groomed by predators, we are groomed by culture, by silence passed down through generations, by mothers, sisters, aunties, or elders who were hurt themselves, even by the same family members, y'all, but never allowed to speak up. By the women who learned that protecting men, even the violent ones, kept them safe, accepted, or loved, or financially secure. That's one thing they will not tell. Okay, my alarm went off again. My bad, y'all. Okay. By systems that reward secrecy and punish truth-telling. So like me getting the text to keep your mouth shut, by him trying to gaslight me. My abuser recently, my cousin, okay, recently just tried to go on my Honey Enhanced page, and he says, why don't we go on this page, this social media page where this guy does like a group, whatever, call with the abuser and the survivor, and to see who is right or if it's factual and all this weird stuff. I personally felt like this is just gaslighting. This is me getting closer to the mission. This is me living in my purpose, okay? And that is old Cresty himself trying to silence me, trying to keep my mouth shut. He went as so far to even give me a sore throat that same, like maybe a day or two later. Like, I wasn't supposed to praise the Lord. I wasn't supposed to protect others through sharing. That's why I know I'm living in my purpose, okay? Let's keep going. And by the whispers that say, don't ruin the family, he didn't mean it, or just be the bigger person. Now, unless you're in physical danger or you know somebody else is in danger, just reach out to the people. Reach out to somebody. Do something, okay? Do something. But keep yourself safe, period, okay? Keep yourself safe. You can always reach out to me. We can figure out what resources you need. Or for me, it's listen, like, this is where I don't necessarily agree on laws, because the statute of limitations for what happened with me was only 12 years. And by the time my brain was developed, my statute of limitations had already passed. And now when I go to consult, like, law enforcement, they're like, oh, like, what can you do? What can you do? And the person is just like hopping around place to place. And so I personally, by speaking out, if I can't get them, you feel me? If I can't, and you know what? It's not my job. God is gonna hold that person accountable, period. But what I can do is protection through speaking, protection through education, protection through releasing my own experiences, and teaching people, you know, how to adorn themselves with the armor. This is like my purpose right now that he's calling me for, okay? So silence is a trap. The one that protects the abuser and punishes the survivor. No bueno. We don't got time to be quiet. Period. Like, if I could yell right now, I would, but I'm not going to yell because, but it's not time. Reflection questions. Have I ever been told or implied to keep quiet about something that hurt me? What standard does that set? It normalizes not saying anything inside your relationships later, and they don't talk about this. Pick me-ish, okay? Did someone else's fear, shame, or image push me to stay silent? Have I ever been the person who discouraged someone from speaking out, and why? That right there, I do not stand by. You can't be in the vicinity of me if you would tell another woman not to speak up about her story. Excuse me. That's disgusting behavior. Somebody that was abused by the same abuser told me that the other girl that I know also went through similar things because we were all minors. Basically tried to bully her into staying quiet, and it's disgusting. And this is why I wanted to make these worksheets and to go over these topics so we can maybe educate each other on grooming and why it's not actually like you wanting this person. It is them seeking out your need for validation, whether it be male validation or societal validation, and sneaking in like a slippery snake telling Eve to bite the apple. Like, it's the same thing, y'all. It is the same thing. So, in what ways have I started to reclaim my voice? What does it look like now? For me, it's sharing my story. For me, it's affirmations. For me, it's even making music. Voicing my opinions, not staying quiet about things. What does it look like now? It looks like me limited access. Reclaiming my voice is also education, living in my purpose. It is reclaiming my voice. I would say it's so important right now, and what it looks like is posting on YouTube, creating a platform for myself where I can help others and show up. Even if it's like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be real, even if it's not every day, okay? Because mommy got stuff to do, try to educate myself too, and that rhymes. But yeah, like, somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to do the dirty work, bro. I done put on my boots. And I also get odd man outed. I call it odd man out. Y'all call it black sheep. I get odd man outed. Sometimes by my family, sometimes by the people in my little military community. But you gotta speak up. Period. This is the part that often goes unnamed because it deals with ego grooming. That's what I was talking about earlier, okay? Where the abuse is masked as flattery, intimacy, or being chosen, and survivors are manipulated into protecting the abuser because it feels like a privilege at the time. So I'm gonna just bring this up because I know people do not be talking about this. Like, I'm the big sister, I'm the big cousin, okay? I'm the friend, I'm the auntie right now. In our community, at 14, the adultification of Black and brown girls specifically, and boys, y'all, when they start, say no to drugs, all this stuff. When you start experimenting with weed, potentially at 14, 15, this is not for everybody, but this is what I know in my community specifically, growing up on the East Coast, period, okay? When you start experimenting with weed or alcohol, or in my community, there's a pill epidemic, or whatever, however you say that. But okay, like, when they're introducing you to these things, the adultification, when society decides you're an adult, they start pushing things in your environment, in your community, especially the po-po, okay? And so, at the time, like, this is what I'm trying to link it into, feeling like a privilege. These older men in the community will make it feel like it's a privilege because they got you a wrap, they got you some Lucy's, or they got you some weed, or they got you a bottle, they got you some. In our day, it was Four Locos, and I still see kids drinking Four Locos. Y'all don't drink no damn Four Locos, okay? Do not drink no damn Four Locos, like. We supposed to be soft life living it up. Soft life living it up. Like, no Four Locos. But, yeah, the abuse is masked as flattery, intimacy, or being chosen. And I would even go on to add, like, them, like I said earlier, like them providing a sense of usefulness. It makes you feel like indebted, like not even like I would say subtly indebted. Like you think like, oh, because this person did something for you, now you got to come through to this party, now you got to show up in this environment. Okay, like these are the things we don't talk about. Okay, and then you get fooled into protecting the abuser because it felt like a privilege, because they got you something wouldn't no other sane adult get you, period, because they know you're underdeveloped and you shouldn't be doing it, period. Like, okay, should I start another video? Okay, you know what, I'm gonna start another video, y'all. I'm gonna end it here. Okay, not my alarm went off when I was ending it. Like, you can't let me get the outro going. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this. My job and my purpose is to show up as the auntie, the big sister, the cousin, even the mom, okay? Where I am educating, expressing, and protecting through sharing of my story, sharing of the things I seen in my, you ain't trying to let me be great, sharing of the things in my own community, and yeah, doing the right thing just because it's the right thing to do. So I'll see you around for grooming into believing it was love. We're going to talk on this topic later. Be safe, y'all.